Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Super Justice League of Bat Friends, episode 171. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside the world champion, Joe. What's going on, Joe?
I don't know, man. Why are you asking me? I just showed up.
Nothing going on?
Not a goddamn thing.
How do you feel about the new Turtles?
What new Turtles?
The comic.
Oh, yeah. I'm interested. So, they said they were relaunching, which some people are like, oh, it's a reboot. And according to IDW, it's not a reboot. It's a continuation.
So, cut in real quick. The initial press release that I got made it sound like, hey, at 151, this universe is done.
Yeah.
And we're starting over. Then they announced the new writer, and he made it very clear that it's a continuation of the old one. I'm like, okay.
But so the first 4 issues are all by different artists.
Yes.
So I'm more intrigued. And I like all the artists. Do you remember the 4 off the top of your head?
One's Joelle Jones, and she is lovely.
Oh, yeah. That's why you were talking about Joelle Jones. I knew the name sounded familiar, and I'm like, who the fuck's Joelle Jones?
No, it's because she was in that documentary.
Yeah. No, but that, in my head, I'm like, I know that name.
Jimenez is doing...
I believe so. And then, is it Bradshaw's doing one?
Maybe.
I think Bradshaw's doing one. That's one I'm like, oh, I'm down for that.
And then...
But what I'm curious about is, okay, that's cool. Who's going to be the ongoing artist?
I can tell you.
Okay.
You can work. But I'm really... Because Jason Aaron's one of my favorite writers.
I like his Thor stuff. So it's like, I'll let him do fucking Turtles, whatever.
So yeah, I'm down. And I'm happy that he's doing, like, something different.
Yes, exactly, right. Like, if Hickman all of a sudden's like, I'm going to do TMNT, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck, let's go. Dear Jonathan Hickman, please get a TMNT book.
So first off, Joelle Jones will draw Raphael.
Yeah, okay, so she's month
Raphael Albuquerque is doing Michelangelo, so that's what I was thinking of.
Which is funny.
That
Raphael's not doing Raphael.
Is doing Leonardo.
Okay.
And then Chris Burnham is doing
Burnham,
Donatello.
not Bradshaw. Burnham. They're very similar art styles in my head. I'm not saying they are. I'm saying in my head I conflate them.
After that, Raphael Albuquerque is taking over for the second arc.
Okay. So they might rotate by arc, potentially.
I think so.
I'm down for that.
So my Chris Burnham story is that I met him at a con.
Yeah.
And we did an interview. And this was the last time I did at con interviews because I hate them. And I slipped when I was talking, and I said that I introduced him as Chris Burnham, who works for Grant Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
And
you done fucked up AA around.
Yeah. And he looks at me and goes, I work with Grant Morrison. And it was not good. I tried to make a joke out of it. It didn't work. It was bad.
That's when you just go, you're right. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah. And then the book he did with Grant, the Nameless,
maybe,
I think it was. I bought the trade.
Oh yeah, where they're astronauts. But yeah.
So I bought the trade off of them.
Yeah,
hardcover. Haven't read it.
It's Grant. It's Grant.
I'm sure I enjoy it. He did one of those, those pens that are almost like spray paint, where you gotta like shake it and then draw with them. Do you have any clue what I'm talking about?
No, and the visual that I just got was worth its weight in gold.
It's Chris Burnham jerking me off.
Just you be like, who shakes a pen like that,
dude? Like, it's these weird fucking pens where like there's something inside to make it sound like spray paint. You know, you shake a spray paint can.
But when you said that, I'm like, do they spray paint? You're like, oh no, they just write. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's fucking weird, dude. Okay. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I'm just an idiot that talks online.
Apparently.
But he did the whole front page. So when you open it, the front page is like a whole drawing from, which I thought was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a good dude.
Right on. No, I like
that. I ask myself.
That's probably actually where I first saw his work and probably why I like him was Nameless. Because I got that in singles.
Yeah. I did not. I think the first time I really recognized his work was when he did that book that our friend absolutely hated because he got it for free from the publisher. Die.
I don't know that story.
You don't know that story?
No.
So this was during Kirkman, and he's still doing it, but like when Kirkman first started really doing his big like, let's do something to make comics fun and like exciting again.
Okay.
And that's around the time where he's like, Walking Dead's done, and he didn't tell anybody, and then just ended it.
Oh yeah.
And then he didn't solicit a book. Instead, he took the numbers that you were getting for Walking Dead and sent you the free copies, and just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's funny. So this will be out of date, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. So did you see about the settlement for the lawsuit for Invincible?
No.
So I forgot about this, and then when I got context, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of remember that. So the colorist was suing for like creator rights on the show.
Okay.
And I guess that it was set to head to trial, and then they just settled like yesterday or the day before, or whatever, before it went to trial.
So he just get a lot of money?
Probably. Because it's a settlement, so like, we don't know. But in that, and it's Reddit, so grain of salt, I just saw everyone being like, man, Kirkman's just a dickhead. Why is he such a dickhead? I like his work, but why is he such a dickhead? And I'm like, are there more stories I don't know about? Like, I know there was the Walking Dead suit, which I think got settled. And then maybe there was one with Invincible at one point, but that also got settled. So I'm like, is there just other or are people just jumping because, like, they're going to the other extreme of, well, he's had these lawsuits with his co-creators, so he must be a dickhead. It's like, I mean, maybe a little, but like, it's also weird.
A couple things with Kirkman is like, so one, our mutual friend does not like his work. So from the beginning, and then like, really kind of, this is more of an off-air conversation.
Sure, yeah, whatever. Jump out. You can punch out. You don't have to finish it.
No, it's just no one here is going to be interested. But anyway, he
so
doesn't like him. He doesn't like
him.
So that's where I get from him. And I see these things, and I'm just like, he's doing these nice things for comic stores. I don't get the big deal is. But I notice online, I know he did have that one thing that, what's that book we liked where the spaceship was, like, run by demons and shit?
Outer Darkness.
Outer Darkness. Where he was the publisher for that, and there was an issue with,
because it was
rights.
Skybound, yeah.
So I know that happened.
Okay.
And that is... There's questions there.
Yeah.
At the very least.
It's fair. Oh, we want to talk about Todd McFarlane and his cover contest?
But other than that, I think at the end of the day, it's because he's successful and popular.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I'm like, is there just something I'm missing?
Well, and
because
like,
you know me, I'm not plugged in as much as I used to.
Well, you know, like Transformers fans are pissed at him right now.
I think we
because of Void Rivals.
So it's funny. We talked about that, and then Gil's a huge Transformers fan.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, cool, whatever." Like he's like, I guess I gotta get this book now. Like a huge Transformer fan I know who bought the HasLabs fucking Unicron was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I gotta pick up this book then."
Yeah.
And I think he might have said something like, "I don't know why they wouldn't have advertised it or something." Like we had a conversation, but it wasn't like, "Fuck him." It was just like, "Oh, that's weird."
I saw a lot were mad because stores didn't order a lot of it, and then it became... And then people like me, who don't give a fuck about Transformers, got the book, and Transformers fans didn't, so they're mad about that. I get the visceral reaction. This is what he said that he... Because one of the things I've seen from people is that they don't like how he talks about how, like... He talks a lot about how, like, comics aren't exciting anymore and all this stuff.
Sure.
And he doesn't mean, like, the stories are bad.
No.
What he means is, like, things are solicited 4 months out. So you know the story 4 months out.
Yeah.
And it used to be I went to a spinner rack and I grabbed a book.
You know the book's getting canceled 4 months out.
Yeah. So he likes to do these things because, I mean, it works for him in terms of PR, but I think if he didn't have the Walking Dead money... He's got
a little bit of Stan Lee in him. He wants to do a little of the showmanship of it.
Well, and I think if he didn't have the Walking Dead money, he wouldn't be doing this because they are giant risks financially.
Just burn their money. Just set money on fire.
Yeah. But he's trying to have fun. And I can respect that if nothing else.
Yeah, I can too. Do we want to talk about the Todd McFarlane cover contest?
Sure. And then bring me back to Duke when you're done with that.
Duke?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know about this?
No.
You don't really?
No.
So, for Spawn number what the fuck ever, I don't know anymore. Todd has offered a contest for people to submit, and I think he sent a file. So, like, if you scan it, that's fine, but it still needs to be on image blue board, comic art board, even though it's a digital file. So it's not.
This is for
this is
300.
recent.
Okay.
Is it? I don't know. It just he announced like a week or two ago, or 3 weeks ago. And so the plan is, I think, like 4 people are gonna win, and so 4 covers will get used or whatever.
Okay.
So whatever. And a few people called him out rightly because nothing in the contest says that the artists are going to be compensated in any form. Like, not even, hey, you're going to get a copy of your book. It's just, oh, we're just going to use your art.
There should at least be comps.
Right. And the one guy drew a cover on the image file of just Spawn, and it's a pretty cool Spawn, saying, fuck you, pay me. And then made his argument of, like, McFarlane has the fucking money. We're not saying pay them the going rate. We're not saying pay them a top dollar rate, but you're not even offering a comp to these people.
Yeah.
So, and then in reality, because this is what Richard actually broke it down to too. He goes, in reality, you're either getting free work from working artists, or you're taking advantage of an up-and-comer. Like, you're not, and it's far more likely people who are, it's because even if you're an up-and-comer and you aren't prepared to use this to get other work, that is something that is, like, he's just benefiting. Because if it's good enough to get printed, it's good enough, like, those books would have covers no matter what.
So, here's my, like...
He's not going to put an 8-year-old's cover on, is the point.
No, I get that, but here's where I could see him coming from.
Sure.
And we'll see if he doubles down or
Sure.
But I could see him when he's thinking of this being like, this will be great, and then a couple of guys who are like, who've been working in the indie field and like doing these small books and everything can get a chance to get their stuff spotlighted. Because that used to be a big thing.
It used to.
And the conversation has changed a bit on that. Yeah. I don't fully... I mean, I think people should get paid, but like, I do think there is something to being like put out there to the masses. And the counter that I am sympathetic to is when you're Todd McFarlane, or heaven forbid Marvel. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. But what I'm saying... I think people are too much into that means nothing, pay me. Sure. Where like, that does mean something. But this is my point. Yeah. If you are Todd McFarlane, or heaven forbid Marvel DC, it also would be a really nice gesture to say, I'm going to pay you to now set the standard at, if you use someone's work, you pay them. It can be a token fee, I'm not saying, but like, I respect the argument from people who actually make comics, because this is where it's come from, not fucking just fans, of like, hey, maybe we should move away from, let's just take people's work for free. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I'm just saying, there is not nothing to those people could see work in the future from this. Sure. Yeah. And that's where that gets undercut in this whole conversation. Sure. But we will see what his reaction is in the next couple of weeks, whether he is truly just trying to take advantage of somebody, or if that was like, hey, I thought this was... As far as I haven't followed up on it. There's also a good chance that he knows like very little about what's going on. No, he did a video. So like, he did a video announcing the contest. Yeah, but somebody else could have put it together, and he did a video, and that's it. Like, there's a chance. It's a small chance, but there's a chance. But it's just the thing for me, because we think we've talked about this, and it comes back to Todd. Why did Todd and the Image Boys leave Marvel again? Yeah, I'm with you. That's the thing where it's like, because Marvel's argument was, yeah, but we're exposing you to a whole new audience. To be fair, the initial Image books are not the biggest deal in the world if they weren't prior Marvel books. Sure. So, like, once again, there's an argument to... I'm not saying that Marvel shouldn't be paying these people. My argument is about hypocrisy. My argument is about it's okay, because... And it's with Todd, at least, it's a reoccurring theme. They didn't want to work under a studio system. They wanted credit for their work, and then one of the first things Todd did was set up a studio system. Oh, that's not. I don't follow Todd that much. Yeah, he makes good toys. That's about it. Yeah. And his Spawn book's not that good. Come at me. Oh, Duke. So
Duke, yeah.
So Duke's the new G.I. Joe book.
Okay.
And somebody told me behind the scenes, like, you should...
That you had a girlfriend who looked like a boyfriend that I had last year?
Yes. But they're like, you should really read Duke. And I was like, I'm not a G.I. Joe guy.
Keep going.
And they told me, no, trust me, read it. So I found the PDF in my email and I read it. Duke is a G.I. Joe book in which Duke, who is the perfect soldier... For anyone who doesn't know G.I. Joe, Duke is the perfect American soldier that goes on covert ops and and is just the best soldier ever in the history of the world.
He's the American Jesus. Go on.
He then goes on this mission and gets picked up by a pilot who then, as they're flying home, runs into Starscream.
Oh, yeah.
And people have never seen a Transformer
I did
before.
know about this. Go ahead.
Transforms, kills his friend, and then, for some reason, because he's Duke, he has a jetpack, flies away. Why he didn't use the jetpack in the beginning to just fly home, I don't know. This then leads him into a series of trying to figure out what happened because the U.S. government refuses to acknowledge
the existence of Transformers.
Yes. It is literally a UFO conspiracy book with Transformers.
Which is actually kind of genius if you think about it.
It's awesome, dude. I could not, like, they even go to, there's literally a scene where they go to, like, those conspiracy theories, like, I was probed by an alien, those kinds of meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
And he walks in and he's just like, I don't know about these people. And the person running is just like, come with me.
Yeah, yeah.
And she goes, listen, they're a cover, so they don't take me too serious. And it gets this whole fucking conspiracy about how, like, she knew about the Transformers. It's so good. It's exactly... It's a me book through and through.
Right, right.
For two properties I do not care about brought together.
And that's what can be fun about them. That's why it's like, whenever people, it's like, pick a license you don't give a shit about. But, like, if people are allowed to take wild swings, you can get some fun shit out of it.
Yeah.
So the reason I was laughing is because I had the thought, if anyone that's, like, under 25 listens to this podcast, feel free to write in. I know you won't because you never do. Maybe you don't exist. But, so when you did Somebody Told Me, and I do the lyric. Mm-hmm. And just like when someone goes, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Are we like the last generation that does that? Like, did music become so segmented after us that there's not that common reference point of those huge songs where you can just say a random... Seems like a real sentence. Like, it was a real sentence. Like, somebody told me, and then I can finish it with a lyric.
I think that's...
Or are we just crazy? Go on.
No, I think that's true in general because even, like, my nephews and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they watch some of the great shows. Like, you know, they love Breaking Bad and stuff. But, like, they don't have the sitcom reference point. Or... Even the movie reference points.
Yeah, monoculture. Like, the monoculture is largely dead.
Where, like...
Or at least it's on its deathbed.
Where, like, that half of my personality is references. And...
I used to call it pop culture Tourette's. Go on.
Yeah. That's a joke, but, like, it's a good way, especially in work condition.
Yes.
It's a good way to, like, break the tension. But, like, if I make a reference at work, depending on who I'm talking... Like, if I'm talking to managers, it's usually Seinfeld, because they're all older.
Yeah.
And then people my age, it's like Parks and Rec or The Office. And they all get it.
Or like the great meme said, before memes, we would just yell Charlie Murphy at each other.
Yes. But
Charlie Murphy!
But my nephews, when I make references, have no fucking clue what language I'm speaking. So you might be... I mean, it's anecdotal, but you might be right.
But it's also generational. So it's like... That's why I want to know from someone who's younger than us. Because, like, maybe they aren't watching the shit we watch, so then you wouldn't have that anyway. But, like, is there something there that we're not watching that they get? You know what I mean?
It could be Joe, because I talked about with you in the past how the first moment I felt old is when I went to the mall and all these kids are talking about things being lit and stuff being Gucci, and I thought I was in France because I didn't know what language they were speaking.
Are you Gucci?
I'm told that means good.
My dude, I am Salvation Army at best.
So, the answer is no.
That was another riff on it where I was just like, are you Gucci? Sir, I am Dollar Store at best.
I gotta get... So, when... This guy. So I'm in the mall. I'm trying to get something, and this.
And he kept trying to grab your dick.
Yes, and then I jerked off. But no, this girl walks up to me and starts saying these things, and I have no fucking. It's literally old man level. We're like, I have no clue what you're saying to me, ma'am. Can you speak English? And this guy comes over to me, same age as the girl,
and I offered you some lemonade and cookies.
I shit you not, Joe. Looked kind of like Ken from the music sequence where he has the fur coat.
Okay.
And no shirt. That's what this guy looks like.
So what you're saying is we do live in a simulation.
Yes. And is so nice to me. And then is like, what can I help you with? And I explain it to him.
Oh, that's right. You're in a store. In my head, I was imagining you walking the corridors.
No.
And a girl is coming.
This is an employee of the store at the mall, and then
the guy. Are you Gucci?
The guy who is also an employee.
What store were you in?
I was in the Vans store.
Well, that's your fault then. You don't go into a young.
No.
You're
Fuck
too
you,
old
Joe.
to go into a young people's store.
That was my store before they were cum.
Be that as it may, time passes like sand through an hourglass. It's not yours anymore. You have to let it go.
Doesn't matter.
Or you have to accept that people are going to speak gibberish to you.
Well, I accept that. I just didn't realize I was old until that moment.
I've told you. I tried to explain this to Craig.
And for the record, Joe,
yeah,
that's when I bought this coat right here.
Midlife crisis. I tried to explain it to our friend, and then another friend of ours clarified that we knew something that our other friend didn't, because we were talking about Homestar Runner. And he's just like, you didn't... I go, he was an adult then. No, he didn't watch fucking Homestar Runner. But what makes me feel old is when, webcomics that I read as they came out are now memes. And it bothers me, because they're memes that people who weren't born when the fucking comic came out reference. Every time I see a fucking 17-year-old going, is this loss? I'm like, go fucking kill yourself. I had to have someone explain to me what loss was. I had to Google what loss was. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I read this thing when it happened.
There's also the point that I have a 21-year-old nephew now, and that also makes me feel old.
What's that now?
I have a 21-year-old nephew now.
Going to get him drunk? You should get him drunk? No, you gotta take him to a strip club. Get your dicks touched. You're a bad uncle if you don't do it.
I'll explain to you off air, but
That's fine.
it's not gonna happen. Let's just put it that way.
That's fine. Again, feel free to punch out. This is our show. Fuck them. We can punch out of any conversation we want. Watch. Stop recording. What's this? We're watching Spider-Man?
Speaking of black
people... We're going to
people,
watch Barbie. Let's put Barbie on.
No. Just no.
Sailor Moon it is.
Speaking of black people getting arrested, let's watch Season 1, Episode 4 of Justice League, titled In Blackest Night, Part 1.
Pretty racist.
This is written by Stan Berkowitz and directed by Butch Lukic, which is the two whitest fucking names I've ever heard, Joe.
I don't think Stan Berkowitz is not a white name.
That is some fucking Middle East,
that is not a white name.
European fucking shit.
Nope. You are very wrong.
Oh, I forgot about this intro. So what's interesting?
See, I like that they do cold opens though. This is again for its time. That's Groot with two teddy bears in his eyes. That's fucked up.
There's a book called Blue Flame.
Okay.
That Chris Cantwell wrote.
Okay.
And the whole premise is that this old superhero had to answer for crimes to save Earth.
Okay.
It's this fucking episode.
Oh, okay.
Just, he upped the stakes that they were going to destroy Earth if he lost.
Sure.
And it's really bad.
Okay.
It's one of those
You
books.
bring up the name of the book, the writer, and then you're like, fuck that book.
I like Cantwell. The book is.
Then why did you shit on his book?
The book is good for 4 issues and then just doesn't end.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it makes me angry.
So I also like this because this was, even though I only watched this show like within the last 10 years, this was like my first real introduction to the Manhunters. Like I'd never really consumed anything with Manhunters in it.
That is one white motherfucker.
I think you should look up his ethnic background.
Well, yeah, 'cause he's Jewish, but he's fucking white.
Sir? I think you don't understand what white people are.
Oh yeah.
This is the part where we Google things.
I mean,
What? Oh, I'm not arguing about Butch. Butch is whatever. Booch. It's a good American name. What's it mean? I'm American, honey. Our names don't mean shit.
St. Christopher. What are you talking about? My name means something. And then my last name means please don't harass me and my family. We're not Nazis. We promise.
What does my last name mean? I don't think I know. I might have looked it up before. Probably doesn't mean anything.
Oh, we've discussed my last name before. My grandfather changed it.
I know. That's why I'm like.
It's like, please don't kill me. I'm not a Nazi.
I was just talking about me.
So in this sequence here, some real good jazzy music in the background.
This is not what that means. Oh, this might. Okay.
A little racist, though. The black people are at the barbershop watching basketball, but...
The masculine name Pangrazio is used in Australian.
Okay. So you're a criminal.
It was saying Latin, and I'm like, alright, cool, but then no, it doesn't.
Black on black crime.
Yeah, you can just call that crime. Let me start calling out all the white on white crime?
Yes, please. This is really...
I do love he just fucking bitch slaps the car.
And Jon Stewart's fade is on point.
He's making it rain. Literally.
That man needs it.
Like, the first time I saw this episode, even this time I saw this episode, I'm just like, fucking white people. Because, like, only white people write this shit. And then, misses it. Still like
so mad.
He's like, what the fuck, dude? I didn't say, yo, do a layup. I said, give me my ball. Oh, yeah. Well, close captions off. Because Warner Brothers is a fucking asshole. I'm going to forget every time. He's my grandson.
He said you're a dick.
You've been gone a long time, John. Yeah, I just got out of the clink because black people have to be criminals.
It's true.
In Whitey's world.
Sure. And back to Whitey's world. Where the Flash fucking sucks.
Man, you gotta work through your anger issues.
I don't like the Flash.
Would you like him better if he was Catholic and cried a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then he'd be Daredevil.
Exactly.
I would like it if he could fight.
I just had an idea of a blind speedster and it started to make me laugh.
I would like it if he could not fight another speedster and everything. That would be great.
Then you should like the show. Has he fought a speedster yet? No.
It's coming.
I don't think he ever... Don't quote me. I don't think he ever fights a speedster in this show.
I know it is. Nobody can write the Flash that haven't fight a speedster. Except for Jeff Johns, the greatest Flash writer of all time.
The guy that wrote Rebirth, where he fights a fucking speedster? What the fuck? Batman would only say that he's busy. I also like that of Batman just being like, leave me alone. But we need you. Leave me alone.
The Joker has bombs again.
No, he won't. That's what he said. He would only say that he was busy. Oh, yeah. We got black people. We got to go to the barbershop.
Let me get that tight fade. No, you cannot have that.
Why do we have a fucking stereotype in the background?
I didn't notice.
I didn't either. And then I saw it and it bothered me. That's what's bothering me. Jesus Christ. And this is it's not even like it's 93 when that was fashionable because it was kind of a new thing. This is 2001. No one was wearing a fucking dashiki in Chicago or wherever the fuck we are. Dashiki is a fun word to say.
Where's John from?
I don't know. Earth.
Is it racist that I think Detroit?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Wow.
Fucking Martian Manhunter gets punked by the Manhunter.
It's true.
Who has a zappy dildo thing? I'm not sure what's going on here.
It's a power rod.
This poor kid trying to play Nintendo.
You are old. All video game systems are Nintendo.
Yeah. It's 2001.
He is from Detroit.
Is he really?
Yes. Oh. I always love this because this is a stupid thing. Jon Stewart is an architect, later retconned into a veteran U.S. Marine. Why couldn't you just let an architect be a Green Lantern?
Well, what's funny now is it's very Hawkman-esque, where he's both now.
Yeah. Oh, honey, don't even compare that to Hawkman. Hawkman's way more convoluted.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying in terms of, like, we couldn't make a decision, so we decided to do both.
I don't understand. What should he be? An architect or a Marine? Why not both? So, here's the other thing that I really like about the show. That's not a kryptonite beam.
Mm-hmm.
You can just fuck Superman up.
Yeah.
Oh, you just broke the tip off. That ain't cool, man.
It's obviously a magic beam.
That ain't cool. Clang. Superman looks tired in this now, too.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it, but he just looks tired.
Well, I mean...
Look at my fancy boots!
Joe, if you had to hang out with the Flash all day...
You really gotta get over that. We got a lot more episodes to go.
Oh, Superman's dead. Now we got no Batman or Superman.
But we do have a Blackman. With a magic ring.
The guy with the dashiki is amazing, though.
Could he do that in high school? No! Voiced by one of the guys from Mad TV. What y'all doing? Why you fucking up? All y'all white people gotta come in and fuck up the black neighborhood again.
Then we get blamed for rioting.
Exactly.
You know, at the end of the day, too,
Yeah.
what happens to John in this is really fucked up.
And now you understand the black man's plight in America. All space cops are bad.
That's just truth.
So I wasn't sure of this because I wasn't paying that much attention in the replay. I find it interesting that they teleport in a yellow beam. Because that's Green Lantern's weakness.
Yeah.
Indistinct shouting. Rah, rabble, 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 rabble.
I like that the sign is just no Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Here you will host the Daily Show for the rest of your days.
You saw he's going back, right?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Whatever.
Just it needs to die. I mean, whatever. People are enjoying it.
It's a brand. It's what I'm saying, branding. Like,
Yeah.
it's, you know.
It's just his show on Apple wasn't good, and then I just think he needs
Oh!
to-
We were talking about Lady Comics earlier. Lady Comic people. Comic book people.
Booby comics.
And, yeah, like Daredevil for girls. And it made me think, because I can't remember if we talked about it. Because a friend was talking about Matt Fraction, and I said, yeah, he really got kind of burned out on comics, blah, 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 blah. So he's writing the Godzilla show on Apple.
Yeah, he got a new book coming out too.
Does he?
Yeah. It's like Rebel something.
Is it indie?
It's Image, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Would you see Sex Criminals is getting a compilation?
No, I didn't. I own all the issues and just the tips, so, like, whatever.
I never read it.
You never... Fuck you.
No.
You call yourself a Chip fan, you can get fucked.
To be fair, I am a fan of Chip the writer.
To be fair, Matt Fraction was really burned out. You would like that book because Chip was doing some heavy lifting.
I never read
There's
that.
literally a moment in the book where Chip is having, like, a, you know, meta conversation of, like, Matt told me just to finish this page, so I did.
So I never never read it because I'm not a Fraction fan.
But are you a fan of sex?
No, that's why I don't have it. So it never hit my radar, and then I became a Chip fan later. So I'm thinking about buying the compilation.
Because you're not a man of taste. It was such an enjoyable book, and a lot of it was down to Chip, how Chip drew it. Which I do miss Chip the artist sometimes, because Chip is fun. I like when Chip draws his own stuff.
I think Fraction's a fine enough writer, but like his Marvel stuff was just dog shit.
But I almost fell in love. Like, I felt like I didn't because it's a fictional character.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I fell in love with one of the characters. Where I'm
Yeah.
just like, I wish I could meet this woman.
And then his Image stuff, the stuff I tried,
Did you ever try to get Casanova?
I did not.
Who the fuck is taking care of you? Who is watching you? Because you're doing all of the wrong things.
Listen, if something hits my view and I'm like, well, I'll try this, and I try it, and I
Fucking fly-by-night fair weather fan. Call yourself a comics person, Jesus Christ.
I don't know many Fraction fans.
Casanova was literally like the first book that I
And
picked
didn't he
up
never
from
finish
him.
it?
No, of course not.
And
He got burned out.
This is also my problem, is I'm not going to jump on a book that's not finished.
But the thing is, like, the volume's finished. It's just that, like, so if you read the first volume as its own,
Uh-huh.
you have a story. And it can end there, and you don't have to come back. But it's that the last volume was when he was getting really burned out with shit because he was doing other shit. And he was doing Marvel stuff. He was doing everything, and that's when he just, part of his head just exploded.
Sorry, I shit on his Marvel stuff. His Hawkeye was really good. But a lot of his Marvel stuff was just
Yeah,
not,
they
not
adapted
there.
it into a TV show.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing where, like...
He did Iron Fist, too, though. He did Immortal Iron Fist, didn't he?
Yeah.
I
never read Iron Fist.
I loved Immortal Iron Fist.
Who was was it Aja that drew
Yeah.
Hawkeye? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one that I felt like, he had a decent enough story and everything, but it was really carried by great art.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, it's distinctive. Like, a lot of the times, it's not so much that it's... Not to shit on anybody's art. It's not that it's great, it's that it's distinctive. So what it does is it gives that story a specific look. Versus a house style where you're like, oh, okay, Captain America's beating people up.
And to be fair, with his Iron Fist, I didn't even read Brubaker's Iron Fist.
You're just missing out.
That's fine.
Because I read both, and they were fantastic.
It's fine. I know people love Iron Fist. I never really cared for him.
Oh, I didn't like Iron Fist, But I went, oh, Brubaker's doing it? It looks cool. Let me read it. Oh, this is amazing. He's Danny Rand. He does Kung Fu.
Yeah.
It's literally a
Listen,
panel. It's literally a panel. He goes, I'm Danny Rand. I do Kung Fu, and he does
Listen,
that.
I read Robert Kirkman's Jubilee. Like, trust me, one of my favorite writers can write something I don't like.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
I personally love Robert Kirkman, so I buy all of his books. And I tried that out, and I was like, yeah, not for me. Because it was Robert Kirkman trying to do a YA book before YA books were a thing.
I mean, that's not true.
They weren't like what they are today.
I guess. Okay.
In the comics world, yes, there was young adult novels, but
that's fine.
But now every publisher has a YA graphic novel section. Where like back then, not really? So much. Oh yeah.
A genuine question.
No. Oh okay, yeah.
I am not a young adult, so don't.
Well, there's.
I watched Sailor Moon
because
I was an adult.
I was thinking about Milestone recently. This is a good episode. I don't know why we're not talking about it, but I was thinking about Milestone recently, and how like I never really cared for Static Shock because my first introduction was that cartoon.
Kind of a dick move, Clark. Like that's clearly to protect them from space, and you just burned a hole in it.
They're all dead because none of them can breathe in space. Yeah, and how
it's nice that they got the quintess or no, what the fuck are they? God, it's been so long. It's a Transformers reference. Hold on.
So my thought about Milestone was how Milestone was trying to do back in 90 whatever what we're trying to do for the past 5-6 years.
Okay.
But they were actually trying to create new characters.
Go on. I'm not like I'm getting your thought, but I'm not getting your.
I think the failure in comics of Milestone is what gave publishers the idea that just legacy characters don't and make them different.
Quintessence.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say I'm glad we got the quintessence here to lord over this trial.
And the fact that DC tried to bring back Milestone recently and it failed once again,
well,
was them being like, "Oh, see, we tried to create new characters that were of different races or whatever, and you didn't buy them."
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And so now we're just gonna make Batman black,
right?
Which I'm not opposed to the idea per se. I'm just saying, like, to anyone that is, like, that's probably why you're getting that.
Fucking Kanjaro. It's funny because people who were, buying comics at the time that Milestone happened, like, Milestone fans are loyal.
Yeah.
It just feels like there weren't enough of them. And there were a lot of reasons for that.
Well, because I was going through their old catalog and, like, seeing what the books were.
Yeah.
My entire Milestone
was
Static Shock.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care for Static Shock. Although, I was reading about it because I haven't watched the show enough to remember exactly how his origin went, but
Sure.
like I was reading that his origin, the comics, was basically that he was a gangbanger that like got his powers while being in a gang or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I can't remember. I did a whole HeroClix on him. I just don't remember.
Yeah, it's. I remember thinking like. I mean, their explanation was better than what I just said, but
sure. I'm just trying to remember because I also know obviously they've done it a couple times, but
and then all of his villains kind of because whatever happened in that moment,
Hawkins' abilities develop after an incident exposes him to a radioactive chemical called quantum juice, turning him into a bang baby.
That sounds like the porn version. Are you sure you got the right?
Okay. Doused with an experimental chemical during a gang war he was caught up in.
And all of his villains are people that were part of that
Yes.
war. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah.
that's actually like a really interesting, cool idea. I was like, I wonder if I would like the comic better than the show.
The authorities arrive and release tear gas, nothing ever changes, with what they believe to be a harmless radioactive marker so that any gang members could not escape arrest. The cops do not know that the marker has been further spiked with an experimental mutagen called quantum juice, or Q juice. This event ultimately came to be known as the so-called Big Bang. Those who were exposed to it came to be referred to as Bang Babies, because the Big Bang was their meta-human birth.
Yeah, and then they described Hardwire as just
Iron Man, but black.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I've never read Milestone, but that's how I've always heard of him, or him referred to as just Black Iron Man.
And then that's why it came up, because there's going to be a Static Shock YA graphic novel.
Sure. Why not? And then, of course, there was the greatest black hero of all time, Spawn.
Who's soon to be played by Jamie Foxx.
Maybe. That fucking movie ever gets made. So yeah, John supposedly destroyed a planet.
Yeah, and
all the Green Lanterns are mad because they're like, you make us... See, Green Lanterns are good cops because they're like, hey, this one bad cop's making us look bad. Fuck him.
the only reason they feel that way, because he's black.
It's true, too.
If it was a white guy, they'd be standing up for him.
That's true.
The guy that accuses him
Kanjaro
is literally bug-eyed.
Well, bug-eyed people can't be okay? That's awful specious of you.
It is. Human power.
Kanjaro has a proud tradition in the DC Comics, apparently.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I like seeing the other lanterns. I always like seeing the other lanterns.
The fact that Kilowog is a little too slim for my tastes.
Yes.
But I do
you
like
say
that...
posers once. Or poozers, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, but all around, decent, good episode. Good episode. Like me some Jon Stewart. Tell white people it can't be a slave ship.
I mean, John's green. He's back there.
Wasn't John's secret identity as a black man too? That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Depends. He has posed as a white man before, but modern era, he is typically a black man.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was confusing because I was pretty sure he was a black man because the Black Hammer version is a white guy, but the twist is, Joe, that he's gay.
In his first appearance, he enslaves the Justice League with his Gamma Gong and uses them to battle the other three monarchs by threatening to leave all humanity in a paralyzed state to only be released if all three monarchs spoke Kanjaro's name at the same time.
It's a real easy way to defeat somebody. Does the
With
Gamma
his
Gong?
Gamma Gong.
Does the Gamma Gong summon the Hulk?
No.
That's unfortunate. That's just a missed opportunity, DC.
Goddamn Kanjaro.
It's the same outfit too.
Kanjaro's sister, Kanjaru, fucking
That's
DC.
phenomenal.
Fucking DC. No, but you understand, this is serious business. Is it? Is it though?
I don't know why this popped in my head, but another interesting part of Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is that they give J. Jonah Jameson a Hitler mustache.
I mean, you know, he kind of always had one.
Kinda. But like, I don't know, it was kind of went on a fashion. Like, if I just walked in here with a Hitler mustache, you might be asking questions.
You're not J. Jonah Jameson.
But I would like to be.
That definitely is. It went away. That definitely is.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
not saying it's unprecedented. I'm just saying bold choice in 2024.
I'm just looking. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just straight up Hitler.
Like,
So I think what it is when they started to make J. Jonah more sympathetic, they broadened it.
yeah.
But when... Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. It's what he always has.
I told you I don't read a lot of Spider-Man.
Oh, Jesus.
Um,
Does he not have a mustache when he's... Huh. Looks like he shaved it when he became Spider Slayer.
let's see if we can find this. But like, yeah. Also, he's not. I mean, he is sympathetic, and you'll see when you read it. But is that a real thing that happened?
I think it is.
Because I can't.
Because I saw a cover for What If J. Jonah Jameson was Spider-Man, but I don't know if that's real or not. Again, this is the part of the show where we just start looking at stuff on our phones.
Yeah, but yeah, it stuck out to me. It was like, yeah. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of fucking Omni-Man playing him all the time, but
That's also true.
But Joe, speaking of Omni-Man, where can people find you on the internet?
JoePank.com, patreon.com/clicks, Nexus, JoePank36 on Instagram. You know the deal. Go do it. You're not gonna. So, like, my energy on this part of the show is going to come down a lot. But, like, if you start doing it, my energy will go back up. So, you know, I'm lonely.
You can find me on X at Fortress Chris.
Twitter.
Also on other social media networks like Blue Sky and whatnot. Also Fortress Chris.
How's Blue Sky doing?
I mean, it's trying to be Twitter and failing.
Yeah.
You can find me at FortressComicNews.com. Also at ChrisComicsCorner.substack.com.
Spelled with all K's.
And you made that joke already.
I don't care. You say that like I care.
Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version of this. 5 stars on the podcatcher of your choice. Thank you all for listening. I'll see y'all here next time.
I still don't know how to play this thing. I was thinking last night, I'm like, I need to start working on that more. And then I just kept talking so that your finger would just hover above the button.